All right, so for a lot of you that have been wanting to build companies or businesses and don't know how to, this video is going to help you kickstart it the right way, and I'm going to be giving you a very, very good example using the latest idea I had a couple of days ago as an example. And I wish I could use several other ideas I have used to start previous companies. The ones that failed also failed eventually, and the ones that are thriving are thriving. So I discovered that a couple of persons, when you have this idea, the next question you ask yourself is, what's the next thing to do? Then you begin to dream big. Being a business strategist, a marketing strategist, people come to me a lot of times. Hey, I have this idea. They call me on phone. It's like just so common. I get to experience it every week. I have this idea. It's a pretty interesting idea, and look at the amount I'm going to be making from this idea. I feel it's going to scale, like blah 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 blah. Then they give me the size of how much they're going to make. Well, all that is actually making sense. But the thing is, it's the wrong approach to building a profitable company, because you are looking at it from the grand scale, grand, not ground. Like, you're looking at it from the grand scale, and you're not considering how to build it from scratch down to that point. I've given this example several times. I had an older friend of mine who told me about the fact that he wanted to build an e-commerce platform, and he was already giving me figures of how it was going to make a huge amount of money from it. But when I listened to it, I felt there is so much missing, which is exactly what I want to share today. What was missing? What was missing was just the simple thing that Paul Graham has been saying, which I've gotten to imbibe: start what doesn't scale. And this is what I mean. A couple of days ago, I started something called walking. It's a form of exercise everybody does. Like, instead of jogging every day, which was what I initially used to do, I used to jog, but it's actually strenuous. Yet I still wanted to burn calories, so I decided to walk instead. 6,000. So I googled. I had to go to Google to check how many steps I need to walk in a day to be healthy. Being an indoor person, I love staying indoors. I really love staying indoors. But I need to stay fit, and I'm looking at my body. I really want to have perfect body, not so much fat under my skin and stuff. So Google said that between 4,000 and 10,000 steps a day is healthy. So I chose that I was going to be walking 6,000 steps every day. Now, I started it out of fun. The first day I took my first steps, I documented it. Note this word: I documented it. So I documented it, and what I mean by I documented it was, I told my community is my WhatsApp. Like, my WhatsApp is actually the closest community I have, where I get to share everything I'm doing. I don't get to really share a lot of the stuff I'm doing personally on social media, on other social media platforms. So I told them that, hey, I want to keep fit, and I'm beginning like this thing, walk 6,000 steps, take 6,000 steps, and in order to stay fit. And of course I was using my smartwatch, so I was able to track the number of kilometers and the number of calories I burned. The next day again, I woke up in the morning and did the same thing. Then the third day, I made something simple. How many of you would be interested in also staying fit? And today, that was today actually. Today makes it the third or fourth day. I think today makes it the third day. And now I had someone join me today, not even in my state. Tomorrow already, I have about 5 to 10 persons that are going to join. Now, why am I sharing this? When you want to start an idea, and mind you, what I did, okay, let me not just jump. I want you to really understand how to build your idea from scratch to succeed it, to become the global empire that you always dream it to be. But you've been thinking this direction, you're not thinking of, you're thinking like this, you're not thinking like this, which is actually going to happen. You will never achieve anything on the long run. So, what am I doing? I'm building a community. I am passing out an information that this thing I'm doing is of value to me, and it can be of value to you. Now,
I could actually do something that would not make sense, and like what I mean not make sense. Okay, let me just explain what I mean by that. I could actually begin to go outside and on the street and shout, "People, come! Let's do something that's gonna make us very fit as guys. That will build us up. That will make us healthy and give us long life and blah blah." Nobody's gonna join me. Why? Because they are not seeing the background of the intention, and these people were able to see it with their eyes. They saw me when I started, like I documented when I was starting, and I documented the journey. Just made a clip that I've covered 2,000 steps. I went for 6,000 steps again. I documented it. That way, people are getting to be like unconsciously they are getting their mind to it that this guy is doing something that would better his health. We can actually do something. We can also do something similar. We can do something similar. So in their mind, they began to like, okay, this is going to be of benefit to me. Look at the number of calories that this guy was able to burn. Obviously, I also want to have like healthy lifestyle. I'm always staying indoors. I'm talking like with respect to other set of persons too. Then now the community is going to grow to 10, 20, 50, 100 different states. Like currently now, tomorrow we will be having 3 different states partaking this. 3 different states, and it just started like about 4 days ago. Now, this is what the point I'm going to. The next thing, which is the first thing you need to do, fine, you've gotten the idea. The next thing is you communicate your idea with a small community. That's the first point. I've made this in a podcast. You can actually check it out on Anchor Official Climber, official, then CLIMBR. Go check out the podcast on how to start an idea. I'm not going to explain that. I've made this in a podcast that when you want to start an idea, you need to validate it, right? The way you can validate it is through a small community. Mind you, I didn't start this thing as a business, but eventually, the second day that I started this, I felt this thing can actually be a business. I could actually make a good amount of money from it. Now, that's the next thing to do. When you have an idea or you have a product you want to sell, you validate it with a small group. And it's not wrong to actually validate your product on WhatsApp. You know, people will say, don't sell on WhatsApp, blah, blah. You can actually try to validate your product on WhatsApp, but it might not work every time because your WhatsApp people might not be your audience. If you're selling a product of like 100,000 naira, you cannot validate it if your audience are people that cannot afford to pay 100k for that product. So there's no way you can obviously validate that. But that's just by the way. So the next thing to do, which I feel if you're selling a digital product or you're building an idea, create a channel, a medium through which you can communicate this idea with people. People often wait for when they think the idea is big enough for them to begin to communicate. No, don't. I watched this video by Gary Vee a couple of days ago and it also changed my mind. I've been watching it Gary Vee has been saying this for years, and I've been watching it for years, for over 2 years, or let's just say about 2 years now. And I never got to understand it till I think 3 days ago. It just occurred to me that Gary Vee has been saying document, not create. Then everything just came to my mind like, oh, this is what this guy has been saying. I shared it with a friend that, what the hell? I just got to understand what Gary Vee meant by this word. So document means you're telling people every bit of the process. That's even the best way to sell, not the end result. And a lot of you are actually like, oh, until when we get the end result, until when we do this, until when we do that. No. So the next thing I did was I went to create a social media handle. I do that a lot. Maybe I have an idea like this. I give it a handle, a name. Like once it's an idea, a product or whatever, it definitely has a name. If you're selling this, it will have a name. It's a headset. What's the name of what do you want to give the name? If your product is not having a name, it's not having any brand. This is Oraimo headset. It stands it out. This is a customized water bottle anyways. It's having the Climber logo inscribed on it anyways. This is mini-me. It's a change, having its own personal brand. So you give it a name. It doesn't cost you anything. How did I start Climber? You're watching this from, you will definitely see the handle, but the company where at which I'm creating this is Climber, which is my agency actually. How did I start this? I got the idea over in just one night, and in that same night I went to Instagram, created the handle on Twitter, then I bought the domain name. I did not host it though. I bought the domain name just to have it secured. So the first thing you need to do is like create a channel where you can consistently communicate your idea. When I built Climber, when I built Think and Act, my first company that failed, I did the same thing. Climber, I started another company which I have not really started. I can't talk about it yet because it's like really, really personal. I also bought the domain. I've already like secured the handles so that nobody else is going to think of the idea and then access it, because I feel the names are actually very perfect. So when you have this idea, create a handle immediately on social media where you can consistently document what you're doing. As I had my walk today, I snapped myself again, blah blah, took a short video and put it on the handle. Nobody's following that handle yet. Then my friend from Lagos, who also participated, sent me the screenshot of his own work. I posted it there. I am documenting. I am passing out value. The value I'm passing out is that there is an engagement towards securing your health, making your health very stable, making your health perfect, or making your health very fit. When those who were engaged tomorrow will also come on board, they will follow the handle, because now the next thing that will come to my mind is they want to begin to see the progress of what is going on. So they will follow the handle. Let's say 10 people follow the handle tomorrow. They also post their stuff. We have content there. They will be so excited to want to share it on their own platforms. People will come, they will see the at 6,000 steps, because that's the name of the idea. The idea is take 6,000 steps every day. So 6,000 steps is the name of the handle. It's the name of the handle, is the name of the domain name I bought. And that's the way it's going to expand. So this is it. If you start in e-commerce or whatever product, you create a simple process with a small community, and you make it. See how ideas work. Ideas work in a way that one person eventually gets to reach another person. That's how WhatsApp, Facebook work. I'm not going to be explaining how those work, but just simple thing. Somebody gets this headset. Once it's going out and he wears his headset on his head, another person sees it. I love the design of this headset. I want to get my headset. Where do you get it? Oraimo. But if you're there waiting till you have the whole idea built up already, and then before you know, I've seen lots of people do this. It does not make sense. It's the wrongest way to scale, because you're thinking about hundreds and you're not thinking of how to start from zero. The best way to start from zero is 0 to 1. 0 to 2, 2 multiplies to 4, 4 multiplies to 16, 16 multiplies to 132, 132 multiplies, like it begins to grow exponentially. So the best way to build your idea is to start with a smaller circle. And it's also possible to start with bigger circles, but the thing is, most times people don't get enough funds to start from that level. So this is just the best approach to you watching this. Wherever you're watching this, I want you to follow this handle. Go to YouTube. If you're watching this from YouTube, subscribe to this channel. Turn on post notification, because there will be many things around this that I'll be sharing. Check other videos we've made. If you're watching this on Instagram, follow Official Climber. This you're definitely going to be watching it from the Ajaijo or Official Climber. Follow the Ajaijo, follow Official Climber, so that you, and turn on post notification so that you get more videos like this. I have to emphasize this because you might just run away and then miss opportunities of getting more values that is going to help you build scalable businesses. So once you have this in place, something interesting is happening. I'm already thinking of what's the next thing to give to this community that will bring me money as a business person. Fine, we are all like partaking in like making ourselves fit. The next thing that's coming to my mind, I'm not going to share it now, but I'm thinking of already of selling a product to the community once we are up to 100.